Maurice Nicol, Psychological Commentary, Volume 2, based on Gurdjieff's teachings. Birdlip, November 18th, 1944. Commentary on the Mind, Part 1, Note. I suppose that none of us understands how we resist thinking in a new way. I was reading recently the history of universities in England in medieval and Renaissance times. A large number of young students attended in Oxford in the early 13th century, influenced vaguely by the new movement called the Renaissance that was spreading over Europe. The inhabitants of Oxford resisted the presence of these strange clerks, as they were called. They hated them because they were studying something new. In those days, there was no university, as we understand it, no college buildings. There was an uproar owing to some woman, and all these students marched out of Oxford, and some went to Cambridge, and others went to Northampton and elsewhere. Here, again, all the inhabitants resented their presence because they were studying some kind of knowledge. These town and gown rows took place for a long time before either Oxford or Cambridge was able to form a definite organized body and build its own colleges. We often see reflected in history what happens in our own minds. We resist new thinking. We resist change. All history from a mental point of view shows us how anything new is resisted. If we apply history to ourselves, we find exactly the same thing. We find it very difficult to change our minds. We notice a very powerful force of resistance. And if we take our ordinary minds as the town and our new minds as the gown, then there is always a fight between town and gown. Have you ever thought what force has influenced all these young men to flock together to form for teaching? Not for war or revolution, but for learning. Conscious influences can only act on humanity at rare intervals when things happen to be open, as I was taught. Is not this an example? It is only at times when the influences of the side octave from the sun, that is, esoteric influences, insert themselves between the terrific forces coming down from the ray of creation. Things are opened up for the moment and then closed for a long time.